the running theme for us is my life, my business. Wish I was here. And the thought behind all of this is the conversation that we need to become more present in our own lives and in our own business. It's often as we build our lives and we build our business that we actually lose ourselves in it. And the analogy that Jacques always make is that imagine yourself going on a holiday, and in the olden days, if you enjoyed your holiday, the first thing you make sure is you buy I think it's called a postcard, with images of that holiday destination, and you'll share a little about what you're experiencing here. But a common line is, I really wish you were here with me to experience this. So we turned it around a little bit and says, my life, I'm having this, I'm present, I'm here in my life and I'm here in my business. I wish I was here, more present in my business. That's the running theme. The last few weeks, we've been concentrating on setting goals and the different aspects to that. So once again, we welcome everybody. So I've asked Jacques to just, so I wasn't here last week, but I listened to the recording and I said to Jacques, we really sound good on the recording. Somebody's enhancing our voices somewhere in the Ethernet somewhere. So Jacques and I sound very good. So Jacques can share a little bit about goals, and one or two of you asked me to maybe just go over that again. The recording is available. If you want to just send a message to me or Jacques, and we'll send you the link to that. But Jacques, maybe just a recap, the 3 points you made last week, and then I'll take it from there.
Thank you, Alistair. So, what I am going to do though, because I don't want to take away too much time, I'm just going to do a quick recap. But I think that when under the Q&A, if you've got specific questions, I'm quite happy to field those after Alistair has introduced the topic or shared the topic for today. So in essence, the framework is always to understand, number one, in essence, the difference between strategy and goals. Because the one sets the destination. What is it that I want to achieve? Where do I want to end up? The other one sets the way you're going to get to your destination, the how. So goals typically where questions, strategy typically how questions that you need to answer. And so the three categories of goals is that what is the final destination, and we call that one the end goal. What is it that I ultimately want to achieve over a longer period? And then for example, when you listen to the audio, you'll note that I use the Olympics. I want to be an Olympic champion, which means I want to win a gold medal. That's your end goal. Then your performance goal would be whatever the time is that you set yourself, or, normally in this case, it would be either the Olympic record or the world record that you need to beat, which will comfortably then give you something to aim at to ensure you reach your goal. Those will be your performance goals. And then, why is the performance goal important? So that you can measure progress. Am I making progress towards that end destination, that end goal in mind? And then you would then have your process goals, all the things that you need to achieve towards achieving or reaching your performance goals. So typically over a period of time, you then know either by week, sometimes even by day, by week, by month, by year, whether or not um, you know, all your activities are aligned towards that end goal. And you would ask, but Jacques, what will, in essence, I mean, why go through all this kind of detail? Why all of this clarity required? The key thing is really about being and staying fully engaged in the pursuit of your goals. And there's nothing more exhilarating than knowing you're making progress, knowing that you're building momentum, knowing that every single thing that you're doing is and has meaning towards helping you get to your end goal. And yeah, that's the framework with a lot more detail and also the examples we had. Please listen to the audio again. But if you have specific questions today, I'm quite happy to answer them. Again, thanks. Over to you, Alistair.
I often think of the goal, and one of the people I spoke to this morning is also present here. The goal, I see it as a pin drop. So if you have a GPS or you want to go somewhere nowadays, you don't. People say, "Give me the address," and you can still do that, but give me a pin drop. In other words, the pin drop. Your goal. And I had a client tell me the other day, we spent almost 3 months or 6 sessions on just talking about what the goal is. Why that long? It's because it's important. It's your pin drop. Now imagine Jacques and I, we coach somebody and we get the goal wrong and we get the pin drop wrong, even if it's just slightly off. And that person pursues that pin drop and ends up at the wrong pin drop in their lives. And that makes our vocation, Jacques and I and others, um, very responsible. And so we've got to understand how important this conversation is with clients. But more so, you've got to understand, we all have to understand how important it is to get the right goal in place, the right pin drop, so that we can pursue it and end up in the right space. That's why I take so much time. So I'm going to start the question. I want to talk about the goal behind the goal. And Jacques started this conversation last week, and I thought it would be good to continue and to maybe give you uh, some skills as to how to come up with the goal behind the goal. All right. But the question I want to ask is, if you look at soccer, I always say the guys who play soccer are the ones who couldn't qualify for the netball team. That's why they play soccer. But that's my issue with people who play soccer. But any soccer game, you see the goalpost and then you see the net, right? Attached to the goalpost, you see the net. Now, I want to ask a question. Why do we have a net attached to the goalpost? So, the most common answer is so that when there's a goal, somebody kicks a goal or scores, the ball doesn't roll away too far from the soccer field or in a stadium. It goes up on the bleachers, and somebody has to go get the ball and bring it back, and the game is delayed and all that. That's an added benefit of the net. The actual purpose of a net attached to a goalpost is so that you know you've scored. But the problem comes is when that ball goes close to one of the upright poles and it's either in or out. And with the naked eye, nobody can decide, was it a goal or wasn't it a goal? Now, that is the actual purpose for a net attached to the goalpost, is so that you can know that you've scored or not. And so that's the same with a goal. The goal is for us to pursue, um, but the goal is also for us to know at some point in time we've scored or we've achieved that. So think of your goal in that sense, right? And so I'll ask the question again as we've asked, what is my goal? All of us must ask that. What is my goal and how will I know that I have scored? Nobody was introduced to this earth or the universe without a goal. And so as human beings, we always need to be in pursuit of why am I here? What is it that I'm here for? and what is the goal, that destination that I would like to pursue. Now, one of the conversations I have with people is to say a goal is not always only something that we want to achieve in the future. A goal is also a place that we come from or that we operate from. But Jacques, that's maybe another conversation for another time. But think of the statement: a goal is not just a future destination or something that we would like to achieve somewhere in the future. A goal is also a place that I come from on a daily basis. But we'll most probably develop that over some time. The thing that I want to talk about is, have you ever stopped and consider why you want to achieve the goal that you want to achieve? Okay, now I know it's a bit of a redundant language, but why is it that you want to achieve the goal that you have in mind? Most of us know Simon Sinek. Mark, you alluded to that this morning. He says people don't, and he talks about the golden circle. And in the middle of that circle is the word why. And then the next circle, I think it's what. And the next circle, outer circle, is how. And so we often start with the how and the what, right? Um, but Simon says, and he makes a very radical statement, he says, people don't care what you do and how you do it. People care why you do what you do. And I've come to know over time in my vocation, that's absolutely true, and it's very important to start there. So ask the question, why is it that you do what you do? Or why am I pursuing this goal? Right? So maybe your goal is you're thinking, I just want to change people's lives. Now, that's a good goal. It's not a bad one. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's very vague, right? What do you mean by change? What kind of change do you want to bring in people's life? Be more specific about. And then people, young people, old people, females, males, good looking people, less good looking people, and what about their lives would you want to change? So become more specific, and we spoke about the SMART process of a week or two ago, right? So if we end up with a vague goal, the outcome is going to be vague, and we will never know that we've actually achieved it because you were not specific in what you want to achieve, right? If we work on why, just hold on. If we work on why, I just had to give permission for my car to be used. If we work on why we pursue a goal, we we creating a an investment, emotional investment or excitement behind the goal, right? Because if you don't know why you do it, chances are that you will go off track more easily, have more frequent drops in motivation, and lose the willpower to do what you want to do. And in the end, you say, ah, that's too difficult. I don't have this emotional attachment to what I want to achieve. So let me rather watch TV or eat a tub of ice cream, right? So it's important that we have this emotional connection, this emotional investment when it comes to achieving our goal, right? I want to give you, I think if I just count here, it's about 7 questions, and it's a lot of questions. And I'm not going to necessarily pause and give examples of all of these. But if you have a pen, please jot this down. This morning, one of the guys that's on Clubhouse at the moment, these were the questions we spoke about 15 minutes ago. Also, somebody on here, these were the questions we spoke about. In fact, it was given as homework. So, when you want to find your why, these are helpful questions. There are other ways of doing it, but these are the questions that you can ask. The first question is, who do you personally want to be? Ask us, make it personal. Who do I want to be? And just jot down words. You don't have to put sentences. Because often when we spend time in creating sentences and paragraphs, we lose the focus of. So just jot down keywords. This is the kind of person I'd like to be. The second question is, What things matters most to me? What is important to me personally? Let me repeat the question. What things matter most to me? Jot it down, just words. Third question is, what makes me happy? If I do that, I'm really happy. We all know that there are things that you have to do that doesn't make you happy. Like I we have this massive tree in front of our house. While I enjoy the shade, what doesn't make me happy is that I have to sweep up the leaves all the time. I don't want to spend my life and eternity sweeping up leaves. That doesn't make me happy. But what makes you happy? Fourth question, what energizes you? And a good thing to how to gauge this is even if you do it from 6 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock at night, which we don't advise, but even if it's a long day and you do that one thing, even at 12 o'clock, you still have energy to do more of that. What energizes you? Third last question. What are you willing to live for? Make it personal. What am I willing to die for? I mean, what am I willing to live for? Jot down those things. Don't make it difficult. Use words that's easy for you. And then the more critical questions, there's often things that I would live for, right? I live for world peace. Um, I live for a cleaner street. I make sure that I sweep in front of my house, so I live for a cleaner street, a cleaner environment. But a more critical question is, what am I willing to die for? Takes your commitment just to another level, a deeper level, to what am I willing to live for? And there's a horrific picture. If they put a gun to my head and they say, stop doing that, and you say, I will not stop doing that, I'm willing to die for that. That's a deeper level of commitment. What am I willing to live for? What am I living to die for? And then a question I find very helpful is, who do I look up to and why is it that I look up to that person? Who do I admire or look up to and why is that I look up to that person? And so here the focus is not what they do, the focus is what do you see in that person that makes you admire him or her? They do what they do, but there's that one thing, that there's that energy, that enjoyment, that pleasure that they get out of that. And you jot down that thing. Now, if you look at all the words, all the answers that you've given, look at it and create some distance between you and your answers. You might even put all of them on sticky notes and put it on a whiteboard or put it on a table, spread them out. And then with the sticky notes, group them together. They've got some commonality. And then when you look at all of these things that you answer to the question, what are the common threads, right? And specifically, what are the emotional common threads, not the practical, uh, I want to buy a car and I want to make $1 million and all of that. The emotional threads that you see. And chances are, if you do that, you're going to come up with a set of one, two, three words, and chances are that that is the why behind what you do. So, as I said, this is one way of doing it. Maybe, Jacques, in the future, we can talk about the five whys. That's also another way of getting to understand your why behind your goal, right? Now, I want to end up with this. The beauty is that as you discover your personal why in answer to this question, you may also discover what matters most to the people you'd like to impact. I'm going to repeat that. As you discover your personal why, the personal reason why you do what you do, you may also discover what matters most to the people you'd like to impact. And there's a saying in coaching, Jacques, I don't know if I coach because I secretly wish somebody coached me at a significant point in my life. Some people teach because secretly they wish that at some significant point in their life, some teacher did a better job for them. Or possibly because there was the teacher who made an amazing impact on you and that pulled you into the teaching mode. So don't despise that. Don't see it as chance. It's all part of bringing you into a place where you understand what your goal is and what your calling is. Thank you, everybody. Greatness and favor to everyone. Any questions?
No questions this afternoon, even comments. But yes, I think Alistair made it quite clear that we don't want to put you under pressure. Only if you really want to say something, you're always welcome. Alistair, I mean, a comment from me is, and my theme is, um, if you have any aspirations, change something for the better, or defining some way of ensuring that you want to make the changes in your life that are going to be meaningful, impactful, and so on. The key is to be present in what you're doing, is having this emotional connection to your goal, as Alistair pointed out. I mean, I got quite a visceral reaction within me when he said, "Well, what are you willing to die for?" And it's interesting, if you look at the list of things that you want to do, and you have to put it through that filter, and that was not his intention to use it as a filter, but this is just the way I process things, is to go, well, I've got an original list. Am I willing to die for these things? Well, if you start going, well, there's no definitive yes or no, and there's a lukewarmness to your approach, then this is what we're talking about, or this is what I'm interpreting Alistair is reminding us of, is that either have a yes or no. Be very clear. Right? In or out. I either love it and I know I'm passionate about it, because we all know when life happens, there are many opportunities to be disappointed. And one of the things that you have, if you're willing to die for this, that means you will be able to weather all kinds of storms while you remain focused, while you still continue to make progress towards all of this. And having that feeling of satisfaction every day just feeds this emotional attachment, behind your goal. And I mean, Alistair puts it very eloquently. He talks about an emotional thread amongst all those questions that you've answered, and hopefully you've done so. Anything that we say is only as good as you actually applying it.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement, Jacques. And I also have a statement. We secretly don't achieve our goals because we don't achieve our goals because somewhere secretly we don't desire it enough. And a good couple of weeks ago we spoke about how we self-sabotage our achievement. And the best way to put that, and not to go with all the manifestation of it, is what you need to do today. It's like we do it on a daily basis. I know I need to focus on this particular task, but I keep myself busy with everything else, so that at the end of the day, my wife comes home and say, I thought you were going to wash the dishes. I said, but I was busy. It wasn't that I was forced to be busy. I kept myself busy so that when she challenges me, I have a reason at least to say, but I was busy with this and this. And remember, you gave me this job to do 2 weeks ago. And so today I did it. But what we're doing is we're replacing our commitment to achieve what we were called to do for the day by keeping ourselves busy with other things. And that's how we self-sabotage. Jacques, thank you for your comment. And we say goodbye to everyone. And as we say, greatness and well-being to everyone. On here, we see you next week.